Hey guys, it's Devin, and I have been haunted all my life. I honestly really have though, but I hope you're having a great day. I hope you continue to have a good day, and if not, I hope you can keep a positive attitude and have a better day tomorrow. So, the paranormal has followed me my whole entire life, and I thought it'd be a while before I talked about this on my channel, but something happened last night, which is a story time for a different day, that made me think it was a time to tell the story on my channel. The universe definitely gave me a sign to go ahead and share a little bit of my experience with the paranormal. So this video is going to include a few of my earliest paranormal experiences. Just a few of them, just to give the backstory regarding my paranormal past so I can continue to do these videos and you can see where I'm coming from and how this stuff truly does follow me. Okay, so the first paranormal encounter I ever remember was when I was at my grandma's house, and I was probably about 5 years old, and I was in her front yard, and the way that the yard was situated was that the front yard was right across from a church right across the way, and there was kind of a, not a driveway, but like a road to the church, and there's like an entrance to the road right across from where my grandma's house was. And I was outside with my cousin, and we were playing, and all of a sudden I noticed a man across the way sitting down in the middle of the road that led up to the church, like right in the middle of the entrance, so it looked like if someone was going to turn into the church, they would have hit the man. And I found that really odd because, you know, at that time of your life, your parents are always like, hold my hand, look both ways when you cross the road, and they're just super protective about roads because they don't want you to get run over because you're a little kid, you're helpless. So I saw him, and I thought to myself, this man is going to get run over, because the way the road was situated was that it led to the church and also a school, so people were going in and out of there. And so I looked to my cousin, she was maybe 3 years older than me, and I said, do you see that man over there? He's gonna get run over, something along those lines. I was worried for the guy. I didn't want him to get run over. That was my thought when I was that age, when I saw him across the way. And my cousin looks at me, and she looks across the way, and she looks back at me, and she said, there's no man over there. And I said, yes there is, and he's going to get run over. And so she said, no, there's no man over there. And I just remember her face looked kind of off, kind of weirded out. I don't know if she was thinking like I was lying to her. I don't know. So you guys know how when these people on YouTube tell their paranormal story times and they say, I feel creeped out telling the story in my house right now, I don't want to bring attention to it. I always look at them and I think that is so cheesy, you know, they're just trying to add to the video, but right now I feel really creeped out, and I don't want to talk about this in my house right now. I don't know, it just gives me the heebie-jeebies. But anyway, so my cousin says, there's no man over there, and I said, yes there is, I see him literally right there. And so I go inside and I tell my grandma, hey, there's a man over there, and you know, my cousin is saying that she doesn't see him. I just thought, you know, she was like trying to mess with me, or I don't know. And my grandma goes to her front window, she looks out, and she says, there's no man over there. And I'm literally looking at this man. I'm like, he's literally right there. And my grandma, I just remember my grandma saying, oh, don't worry about it, he'll be fine. That's what she told me. She'd be like, oh, he'll be okay. Woo! I'm getting heebie-jeebies. Okay. This is after she had already told me that there was no man there. She just kind of wrote me off and said, you know, you'll be okay, he'll be okay, just don't pay him any mind. So at the time, I did not think of that as a ghost, but looking back, it was a freaking ghost. And my theory on ghosts, I don't know if ghosts are dead people. I really don't know what ghosts are. I think there's a lot of different kind of paranormal phenomena, and it's just unexplainable, and that's why it's paranormal. Alright, so I want to preface my next story by saying that the house I grew up in with my parents was haunted. It was very haunted, and it is so funny because I remember being a kid and telling my parents, this house is freaking haunted. And they would say, oh, you're just over-exaggerating, you know, you're just worrying about it too much, you know, this isn't haunted. But it's funny now because I go over there and my mom is like, this house is haunted. And it's so funny because my dad hardly, like, my dad doesn't experience anything. And I think I don't know why. I think it's because he's closed off from it. He just says he doesn't have an open mind. And if he did experience something paranormal, he'd probably write it off as just a weird thing and he wouldn't worry about it. But my mom does experience those kinds of things. And so it's funny now because she says, this house is haunted, she's experienced things, and I'm just like, I told you so. But I'm gonna share 2 little stories, and then I'm gonna share, not a big story, just like the thing that I was like, ah, this place is scary and haunted and it makes me feel so uncomfortable. Actually, there are so many little stories I could tell about this house. I'll probably just tell a few. So the first one, I was probably, let me think about my age. I'm trying to think about my sister's age and my age. I was probably in 6th grade, the summer before 6th grade, and this was the first summer I was allowed to stay home by myself. And so I had a really good time. It was really fun. I felt so adult-like, so cool. Like, I don't need my parents to watch me. I can take care of myself. But I was sitting in my parents' living room and I was just chilling. I think I was watching some TV, and all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, I see like a shadow person. And it has, I don't like to say this out loud, oh my gosh, especially when I'm by myself, but he had like, I don't know if it was a he, she, it doesn't have a gender, it's just like a freaking shadow, but it had red eyes, it looked like it had a hat, and if you guys have heard of the Hat Man, it looked like that, and this was years before I had ever heard of the Hat Man. Ooh, I'm getting goosebumps. But it just like walked by and it disappeared. And I was so freaked out because I was home by myself. I called my mom because I wanted her to come home from work, and she was like, oh, calm down, you know, it's okay, you know, don't worry about it. But I just remember sitting there in that living room like shaking, thinking, is something gonna come get me? I was so freaked out, and I don't know, I eventually got over it. If you have paranormal experiences, you know what I mean when I say that something happens, you feel really freaked out, but then you're over it, and then the next thing happens and you feel really freaked out, but then you're over it, and it's just kind of a cycle. I eventually just got over that shadow figure. That's the one and only time I've seen a shadow figure, but I was so freaked out. Another little story is that I was about, I would say 10, and my sister was 2. And my mom had told me to like go take a towel to my sister or something because she was in the bath, and my mom had to use the bathroom really quick. And obviously you don't leave like a 2-year-old in the bath by themselves, so she was like, can you go sit with your sister, take her a towel, whatever. And so I tried to go in there, and the freaking door wouldn't open. Like, it was cracked and I was pushing it. It was the weirdest experience. I think about it and I'm like, ooh, but it was like the door was probably like 3 inches open, and when I pushed it, it would not budge. It was like someone was sitting at the other side of the door, like with their hands against it, so it would give a little, but it would like push back and you couldn't open it past a certain point. I'm getting so cold talking about this. I don't know why. But I hauled myself down the stairs. I was like hyperventilating, and my dad was the one who was downstairs because my mom was in, you know, the bathroom, and I told him what had happened, and he was just like, oh, don't worry about it, you're okay, you know, typical dad stuff. And he was like, but you do need to go watch your sister, and I was like, not happening, she'll be okay. And luckily she was okay, because that is so freaky. Why did something want me to not go in that bathroom? It's so weird. Okay, another story. I was around this age and around that same age, and I don't know if you guys know what I mean when I say that I have like a stuffed animal like hook, and it was like plastic rings from the ceiling. It was like a long line of white plastic rings, but there was a hook at the top, and you had like clips where you could like clip the ear of like a stuffed animal, and then it'd be like in the loop, and so you'd have like a string of stuffed animals. And I remember just sitting in my bedroom, and I was feeling a little freaked out because all this, just a bunch of stuff always happened in that house. And you know, probably if you've experienced anything paranormal, that when you feel freaked out, I don't know what it is, but stuff is like a freaking magnet to you. It's like it can sense your fear, and it's just like, let's freak her out some more. And so I was sitting on my bed, I was about that age of 10 or so, and I hear like the sound of the plastic moving. Like the rings are like this, so like when they move you can kind of hear the plastic scraping, and I hear the plastic scrape a little, and I look and I notice that the stuffed animal line, the line of stuffed animals, is kind of moving, and I was like, that's weird. And I started to get a little freaked out, and I heard it again, and it was moving more. And then I was looking at the stuffed animal hook, and one of my stuffed bears flew off of it. It just flew. It did not make sense because it was clipped onto the thing, and it just flew. And it was one of those times where I ran downstairs. It was my dad. I told my dad what had happened, and he was just like, oh, you're fine, it'll be okay, whatever, that kind of thing. But I was like, I will not be fine. I am freaked out. Alright, the finale story in this video is going to be one of the scariest paranormal, I wouldn't say, I don't know if it's the scariest, but when I was young, it was the scariest paranormal thing that's happened to me while I was young. I was sleeping in my bed, and my door was closed, and the way our house is set up is there's a downstairs, there's a door to the dining room, there's a door to the downstairs bathroom, and there's a door to the pantry. Those are the doors downstairs. And I woke up in the middle of the night one night, and I hear the doors opening and shutting downstairs. And I automatically get a little freaked out, but I tell myself, woo, I'm getting so freaked out, I'm getting goosebumps. But I tell myself, oh, it's just one of my parents, they went downstairs, you know, they're just opening all these 3 doors randomly over and over again for no reason. Like, it was open and shut, up, like one door would open and then it would shut, then another one would open and then it would shut, and it was like over and over. And then, oh my gosh, it's so creepy. And then I hear footsteps going up the steps, and keep in mind, my door is shut, my parents' door is shut, I realize, and my sister's door is shut as well. And so I hear my door open and I think, because I'm laying away from the door, I think to myself, oh, it's just one of my parents coming to check on me. And I look, and there's no one there. Literally, my door has opened by itself. And I'm frozen for probably about 30 seconds because I am so freaked out. And after I am sitting there freaked out, for a few seconds, I jump up, I run to my parents' bed, and I'm like, were you guys just awake? Please tell me you were just awake. Even though I had looked right as the door had opened, there was no one there. But I just wanted to convince myself that it really was my parents. And they say, nope, we've been asleep. And you know, that was when I was super freaked out for the rest of my life. No, but really, I was so afraid. But like I said before, you just, like, when you experience that kind of stuff regularly, something will happen and then you'll just get over it. And another thing will happen, you'll be freaked out and you'll get over it again. But the paranormal has followed me for literally my whole life. And it's not just ghosts. Link down below my UFO story time, because I've seen a UFO. That story is really bizarre. I don't know what makes some people more susceptible to paranormal activity. I don't know. And it's still, I'll make more story times because there's way more stories I have. Stuff happens to me now. I really want to make a video about my experience with the Ouija board because that has really exacerbated my experience with the paranormal. It really has. I can sage my place and it'll be calm for a while and then it won't be calm, you know? So I don't know if people are like born into this world more like susceptible, like the paranormal wants to follow them around. I don't know how it works. I don't even know what a ghost is, you know? I don't know if it's a dead person. Some people say it's like different dimensions. Some people say, you know, when you dream, you can be someone else's ghost. So I have no idea. I'm not sitting here saying this is what a ghost is. I'm sitting here telling you my honest to God truth of what I have experienced personally in my life. I believe in the paranormal, and when I say I believe in the paranormal, it's not me saying I know what the paranormal is, it's me saying I've experienced it, and there are some things in this world that you cannot explain. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I will definitely be making some more paranormal story times because I love to watch these on YouTube because I feel like they are so relatable and so interesting because it seems to me that everyone's experiences who have experienced the paranormal are very different. So I love to hear other people just talk about their experiences, and that's what made me want to share my own experiences because maybe someone out there will find mine interesting too. Please subscribe, you guys. I'd really appreciate it. I upload every Tuesday and Thursday. Give this video a big thumbs up and leave a comment down below. I love you guys. I'll talk to you on Thursday. See you later. Bye.